So you are 27 weeks pregnant, and in this video, I'm going to talk about baby development, what to expect at your next OB appointment, and common problems that you might be experiencing, like leg cramps and so much more. But first, if you're new here, my name is Diana. I'm a physician assistant and I specialize in women's health and gynecology. You are watching In the Pink, and if you're new here, In the Pink means in good health and spirit. So if you like being healthy and happy, click subscribe because you're in the right place. Week 27 marks the last week of your second trimester, and you are almost 2/3 of the way through your pregnancy. You're 6 months and 3 weeks, and you only have 13 weeks left to go. Here is where we stop measuring the crown rump length, which is the crown to the bottom, and we start measuring from head to foot. And at week 27, your baby is about 14 inches long. They are over 2 pounds now, which is double what it was from 4 weeks ago. They are practicing kicking and punching like an Olympic boxer, and all those kicks and movements make them feel larger than they actually are. If you ever feel quick, short movements that are very rhythmic, they're probably having hiccups. They can hiccup over and over and over again in your belly and are perfectly normal for your baby to do. And you'll probably notice hiccups a lot. Now, if your baby were to be born today, their lungs would be able to function with some medical intervention. The further along you get, the higher the chance that your baby will survive if they were born today. So at 27 weeks, your baby would have about a 90% chance of surviving, and only 10% of those survivors have disabilities due to the preterm delivery. They are still growing more and more fat and starting to feel out and look more and more like a newborn baby. Their heartbeat is loud enough now that if someone were to put their ear to your baby in the right spot, they might be able to hear the baby's heartbeat with their own ears. The baby's eyelashes are fully grown and her eyelids are no longer sealed shut. They can now suck their thumbs, and this motion is helping to strengthen their jaw and their tongue muscles. Their tongue has developed taste buds, and they can taste the flavors of the amniotic fluid, which changes depending on what you have eaten. So if you ate some delicious, spicy Mexican food, they will be tasting that about 2 hours later. Interestingly, babies have more taste buds than they need right now, and they're gonna lose some by the time they're born. And we don't really know why. Babies can now make facial expressions, which you can see on 3D ultrasound. They can also start to distinguish voices, and they can tell the difference between different voices. So you can talk to them, sing to them. Also, spouses, grandparents, siblings, have them talk to the baby, and they will start to recognize the different voices. Back when your baby was around 12 weeks, their red blood cells were being made primarily by the liver, but now they are being made by the bone marrow. At your next doctor's appointment, if you haven't had it yet, you should have a blood sugar test called a glucose tolerance test to screen for gestational diabetes. Honestly, I never loved getting this test done because you have to drink a really sweet, sugary drink that kind of left my stomach feeling a little bit queasy. But it's a very important test to find out if you have gestational diabetes, which means diabetes during your pregnancy. If you do have gestational diabetes, your OB will either give you a special diet to follow to keep your blood sugars low, or they might give you insulin to help you keep your blood sugars low. If you have gestational diabetes, this can increase your chances of having a larger baby when the baby is born, and that baby might have a higher risk of having lower blood sugar. Also keep in mind that if you have gestational diabetes, that does not mean that you're gonna have diabetes when your baby is born. Your blood sugars are gonna go back to normal, but it does increase your chances of having regular diabetes down the road. So it's just something to keep in mind. Now let's talk a minute about childbirth classes. If you are considering doing a childbirth class, now is the time to think about signing up. You want to finish the class about 4 weeks before your due date. These classes are particularly helpful if this is your first pregnancy, but anyone can learn a lot from them. They teach you about laboring techniques, birthing plans, the physiology of labor and birth, and so much more. So check out your local hospitals for options, or you can do online birth classes where you and your significant other can sit and watch them together in the comfort of your own home. And I will link to one in the video description down below. Check that out if that's something that interests you. Let's talk about leg cramps. Are you getting them yet? Let me know in the video description down below if you are struggling with them, because they can really be miserable if you don't know how to manage them. So let's go over that now. So leg cramps usually happen at night, and most often they're in your calves or in your feet. If it happens, you need to stretch out your calf muscles, and you do that by flexing your foot towards your shin and pulling your toes towards your feet. The problem is that sometimes when you bend your knee so that you can actually reach your feet to pull them back, that makes the leg cramp worse. So I recommend that you keep an elastic band by your bed that you can throw over your foot to help pull your foot back towards you. If your partner or spouse is nearby, ask them to help you by having them flex your foot and your toes back for you. For me, I had them at least once a night in my second and third trimester, so I know how miserable they can be. You can try to prevent them by stretching before bed, and make sure to drink plenty of water. If you are planning on breastfeeding, you should know that depending on where you live, your insurance might pay for a breast pump at no cost to you. Even if you plan on staying home with the baby full time, I recommend that you have a breast pump on hand. And the reason I recommend that is that there are some circumstances where you really do need to have a pump. Like if you need to pump in between feedings to try to increase your supply, if you are planning on going out of town for a few days and you want to have a supply of milk for when you are gone, if you have to temporarily take a medication that isn't safe for breastfeeding, so you need to pump and dump to keep up your supply, or if you want to continue feeding your baby breast milk after you stop breastfeeding, or even if you need to have a night out and have a break for yourself, which you should definitely do from time to time. So get a pump, and if you can do it with your insurance paying for it, it's a win-win. I will put a link in the video description to where you can go to get a free breast pump. So what I want to know is how your tummy is feeling right now. You are getting bigger, your skin is stretching, and this can really make your tummy itchy, and that itchiness usually starts around the 5th or the 6th month. Make sure to use a moisturizer every day. Just know that an itchy belly is totally normal, but an itchy rash is not normal. You could have a pregnancy rash called a pup rash, and it's easily treatable, so talk to your OB if you have a rash that is itchy. Other kinds of itchy that are not normal is if you are itching everywhere, not just on your belly, but all over, even the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. Generalized itching could be symptoms of a problem with our liver. It's called cholestasis of pregnancy, where you get a buildup of bile acids inside your body that makes you feel very, very itchy. Your OB can do a simple blood test to check for that, so make sure to tell them if you are feeling itchy all over. Now, if you are struggling with leg swelling, check out my week 24 pregnancy video. And if you're having a lot of back pain or around ligament pain, check out week 18. I talked a lot about that there. And if this is your first time to my channel, subscribe to Dianainthepink and share this video with a friend or a sister that you know who is pregnant. I have done a whole series week by week. Go check out some of my other second trimester videos. There's a ton of good information, and I will put a link to that playlist right here. Click on that and I will see you over there. Often you'll notice that when you lay down to go to sleep, that's when your baby gets more active and starts kicking. Probably because during the day while you are walking around, you're kind of rocking the baby to sleep. But now that you're resting, they like to wake up and move around.